Hello, hello. Today we are going to be moving forward with the last part on the student desk project. Now come with me and let's go make that on the Maverick CNC machine and see why the Legacy CNC makes making this part so fast and easy, because we're not locked into a single type of hold down fixture like a vacuum table. We're able to interchange that to a clamping fixture. So let's jump on over and produce that part. When handling larger components like slabs or glued up panels for tabletops just like this, there's a few limitations that you may run into based on what you have access to in your shop. Most of us don't have access to a large drum sander or other equipment that can easily surface and thickness plane larger parts like this. It's nice to be able to use the same CNC machine that's producing all the other components to handle large surfaces just like this. Now, when I'm surfacing and thickness planing, we want to minimize the wasted material so that we end up with the thickest tabletop surface possible. So in this fixture, I'm using the same T-slot table with the low pro clamps to hold the blank in place, but I noticed that as I was placing the blank that it had a teeter-totter effect from one corner to the other. So I'm balancing that difference by placing the same thickness of shims on each corner to level that surface as much as possible. Now here's something I've picked up over the years when surfacing larger areas, is I like to program to have the outer perimeter be cut first before surfacing and rastering back and forth. That way we can quickly spot if there's any low points that aren't being surfaced, and we can stop the program at the very beginning instead of waiting halfway through the process. For example, here I noticed the bottom right corner wasn't being machined, and so I made that my new Z0 location, and the program is only cutting down 20 thousandths, 0.02 inches deeper than my Z0 surface. Again, minimizing how much material we are removing from this blank. After making that adjustment, I started the program over and let it run. Now there are a number of cutters, including dedicated tooling specifically for surfacing and thickness planing your parts on CNC. Here I'm just using the flat surfacing cutter from Magnate. It's 1.25 inches in diameter, and here are the cutting parameters that I am using with that tool. Another thing you can do to improve your surface quality when surface planing an entire area is to cut along the length of the grain. That way you're minimizing your tear out. Doesn't guarantee all tear out is gone, but at least it improves the cut quality. With this tool, it took me just less than 10 minutes to surface this entire 2-foot by 4-foot section, and we simply flip and repeat that process using the exact same program. The only thing I had to do is adjust the Z0 to the new surface. When flipping to the second side, I don't need to use those shims because the entire surface is now flat. So get those out of the way, lay it flat on your table, and we can proceed to surface side number 2. By using that shim technique though, I was able to get away with only surfacing just less than 1/8 of an inch from each side to get this tabletop nice and flat. Up to this point, we've been using the CNC machine just like other machines, where we're prepping the material to get it to the right blank size so that we can actually perform all the detail work to the tabletop surface. It's still cool to point out that we can use the CNC to accomplish what other machines also do, but also to step in when you have limitations based on traditional equipment. Now that this blank has been surfaced and thickness planed, we needed to adjust the design and programming of the profile that we wanted to add to the tabletop edges. The edge profile that I'm adding here is very similar to John's wall table that has a large contour radius under the table. Because this profile shape is custom, it makes sense we couldn't find any cutters to match that shape, so we need to 3D carve all of this around the perimeter of this table. The first cutter is the same 1.25 inch surfacing cutter that we just used, and this is simply going to rough out a majority of the material going around the perimeter at different depths. The second cutter is a 1-inch diameter core box cutter, and just like the surfacing cutter, can be found at Magnate. Just go to magnate.net. Here are the parameters for the core box cutter for 3D carving that edge profile around the perimeter of our tabletop. I applied the same strategy as the surfacing cutter that I did to the 3D carving tool, and that is raster along the grain of the wood. That way I have a better surface finish and less sanding. For the final cutter, we're going to be using the same 3/8 down spiral cutter that was used throughout the rest of this project to cut out the parts. And this is going to do two things. First, it's going to add some exact positioned pockets. We're doing this because we have to compensate for the wood moving over time. The legs are being attached to the bottom of the tabletop with swivel fasteners. These pockets on the bottom of the table will recess the hardware while allowing the hardware to pivot within each pocket. The second process this 3/8 cutter does is cutting the table to the exact size that we need it to be. I use the same strategy as all the other cross supports and table legs. By oversizing your blank, we give ourselves enough clearance so the cutter doesn't have any chance of running into our fixture as we're cutting out our part. This was also programmed to leave 3D tabs during the cutout sequence. Here I simply remove those 3D tabs with a handsaw and a flush trim router. The tabletop is now shaped and ready for a dry assembly. We will still need to stabilize the tabletop by filling in all the cracks and knots with epoxy, but we'll do that after the dry fit. I love how we have the capability to combine multiple manufacturing processes into one step, where we're not locked in or limited to where we have to break things out multiple times and handle the part multiple times. For example, with one machine, we were able to surface, thickness plane, add a custom edge profile, add some custom pockets for the hardware and joinery, as well as cut the tabletop to the right size, all with one streamlined process. So it makes life a whole lot easier instead of having to approach it multiple times. We would love to hear from you guys. What feedback, how would you change things? How would you approach adding these type of custom details to the tabletop surface? Please leave those ideas and comments right down below. Now this may not be for you, but if you're interested, Legacy is making these types of projects available for purchase on our website at legacywoodworking.com/projects. We'll leave a link in the video description below. On the website, you'll also be able to find a full schedule of upcoming hands-on workshops where you can come to our facility and be with the Legacy team building CNC projects live. So check those out on legacywoodworking.com. The next and last video for the student desk project is the full assembly, just bringing everything together. So keep an eye out for that next video. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in that next video.